Good job, Ohio State. National champions. You can't really say anything bad about this team. From what they did to start this year, compared to what they were from the Michigan game to now, is remarkable. They finally maxed out their potential. This team that we were talking about earlier in the year being one of the best rosters we've ever seen, talking about this to be an all-time level team, seeing how they played throughout the regular season and seeing how they got better is very impressive. You don't have to be a fan of this team to understand this is not easy to do. To win against Tennessee, Oregon, Texas, and Notre Dame all by double digits is very impressive. Granted, were all these games he built the exact same? No. Texas and Notre Dame were a heck of a lot closer than Tennessee versus Ohio versus Oregon in Oregon. But still doesn't take the fact that this was a very dominating job from for their run. But this game specifically, Ohio State, they had a flawless first half offensively. After giving up an 18-play, 9-minute drive, they did no wrong. They stopped Notre Dame every time they could, and they scored every time they could. You couldn't ask for anything better. And they kicked off the second half the exact same way, and they also got a stop off a fake punt. Then things started kind of changing. Notre Dame got a stop. Notre Dame ends up going down and scoring, and some stuff just breaks their way. And it's kind of ironic that you have a great player like Jeremiah Love on your team, Notre Dame, and you give him the ball 4 times. Why? I don't. He's your best playmaker. We talked about before the game. You need these running backs to perform very, very well. They don't let him do that. It wasn't like he didn't do it. They didn't let him. I know he had 3 yards, but my gosh, if you don't give him the ball consistently in open space, what do you expect the guy to do? Quinshon Judkins and Trayvon Henderson would not get yards if they couldn't go anywhere, and you only gave him the ball 4 times. Like, that just goes for any running back. That was surprising. Riley Leonard and them, again, they looked exhausted after the first drive, and Ohio State, Chip Kelly was putting on a master class. Just boom, 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 just down the field with ease it was. They got an early lead. Again, Notre Dame made their push. Emeka Egbuka fumble, which is a really good defensive play. And then they worked their way back down the field. I'm surprised they didn't try to go for a touchdown. I know it was 4th and 8 at the 8-yard line. But you kick a field goal and you get nothing. I would have gone for it personally because you're down by 16. But later kind of worked out in Notre Dame's favor. They're like, okay, now we have a shot. And then you make a really, really weird decision that I think Arizona State showed why you shouldn't, is blitz everyone else in man-to-man. Why do that? Were you doing that the entire game? Were you containing Jeremiah Smith like you needed to the entire game by not putting a safety back there? Why now? Why whenever you need the biggest stop, you go away from what was working most of the game? You know they're going to try to take a shot. You can rush 6 people and still have a safety deep. You rushed 7 and had no one deep. I don't understand that. And Jeremiah Smith didn't have to do anything insane. It was just kind of veered him left and then boop, deep. He made him think about him. It was going to be an in route, and then he just cut it. It just went deep. And Will Howard puts it on the money. I mean, again, questionable decision comes to that. And that's not usually a thing we talk about Notre Dame. Questionable decision making. That's not usually the case. They had a bad roughing the passer. That was just like, why do you shove him? Why? Again, Riley Leonard tried his best in the fourth quarter to make a comeback. And that number 1 dude for Notre Dame who performed very well against, who was it? Penn State. He balled out there too, and he balls out here again. But we talked about here before, they needed to play special teams wise and defensive wise. They had one big defensive play, but they couldn't always convert offensively. That's what the big thing was. And they finally found it in the fourth quarter, but they could not get it consistently. They just couldn't. And the deep plays they were talking about didn't come until later in the game, which again, you get a 21-point lead against this Ohio State team. It's almost impossible to come back from. Texas tried. I'm not named Texas. Oregon tried. Tennessee tried. You just get stuffed most of the time. This is the best anyone's ever done against them with trying to make a comeback, and it just didn't work. Because, again, this is a really, really tough team to score on from the beginning. And down the stretch, Will Howard ran the ball very well today compared to what he was outside of the other 3 games. He did a very, very good job today. And then you have Trayvon Henderson. He did fine. Quinshon Judkins had 2 touchdowns. He balled out more than Trayvon Henderson today, which is kind of a flip from what every other playoff game has been. Again, I don't think they played a bad job defensively consistently. They just got worn out. The first half was so bad. I mean, I guess they played okay overall defensively. Second half, they stepped up a little bit more. Just Chip Kelly did such a good job getting these guys in position. You watch this offense when they play really, really good defenses. Once they click, no defense is stopping them. So it's tough for me to sit here and say Notre Dame should have done this and this, whenever you have 5 guys you can guard that are legitimate number 1 threats on almost any other team in the country. You got like 5 of them. That's tough for me to sit here and say your defense needed to do this, your defense needed to do that. What can you do? I still question again, why don't you have a safety deep? But again, so many other things went into this game. Mitch Jeter missing that field goal, humongous miss. Because again, if he makes that and things break out the same way, you had 30 seconds left and down by 8. I mean, that's still not great, but it's something. Like, you still have hope. That wasn't there afterwards. So, Notre Dame, very valiant effort. They had a great season. I was talking about preview. This is more of a Marcus Freeman can improve on this. This is a great year. No one, I don't think outside anyone other than Seamus thought they were going to make it here. But if you did, congrats to y'all. But this is such a building year for Notre Dame. And you can look at this and say, I want my kid to go play at Notre Dame. Notre Dame should have nothing they should be ashamed of. They balled out. They did way better than the last time they've been in a national title game, which was in 2012. They got killed that game. They did not get killed this game. They did not lay down. They fought back, and they fought back valiantly. Very good job on Notre Dame's part. But Ohio State was just too much. We knew that heading into this game. Marcus Freeman had a great year for them. If Ryan Day didn't win this game, he's on the hot seat. Like, he could have been fired. You don't have to worry about that. Hopefully y'all forgiven him for his Michigan game, because without that, you probably don't have this run, if I'm being completely honest. Without that loss, does this team collect itself the way they did against Tennessee, when they looked up into the crowd and said, these fans have traveled all the way up from here to watch their team come into this place and win, because we couldn't take care of business against Michigan. They have hope because of that. Let's change that. And they came together. Let's talk about Kirk Herbstreit talked about it. They drew a line in the sand and said, we're not coming back. This is the mark that we say we're not going to leave this place until we get a dub. We're going to change the team. We're going to change this locker room. We're going to win this national title game when it starts tonight. Starts this night. And they showed it against Tennessee. Started off hot. They showed it against Oregon. Played hot the entire game. Played hot against Texas. Closer game. Jack Sawyer made humongous plays. Then this team here. Big plays all around, and that 57-yard play that Jeremiah Smith will go down in the history books, right along with Jack Sawyer's 88-yard fumble recovery for a touchdown. That will be remembered remarkably. That's going to be in the Hall of Fame of Ohio State football. That is what this year will be remembered of. Congrats, Ohio State. I've talked a lot of crap on y'all, but genuinely, good job. And yeah, Notre Dame, nothing to be ashamed of. This was not a bad national title game at all. It was looking like it was going to get bad. Brought some excitement into it. Overall, pretty good game. Hope you all had a good time this season. A lot of stuff happened. And yeah, from a Tennessee fan, and it's cold down here. That's why I'm wearing this. But coming from the down south, I would like to say congratulations, y'all. Y'all earned it. You outdid everyone else. Good job, Ohio State. They actually were my preseason prediction. I had them playing Georgia. But that's neither here or there. Congrats, Ohio State. Good job, Buckeyes. You were the best team this year. Good job.